MX vs. ATV Legends has some new DLC that is dropping today, October 15th. It is the Fort Dodge DLC, and Fort Dodge may ring a bell to many of you players of MX vs. ATV games over the years. Of course, it had 2 rounds of Fort Dodge action in MX vs. ATV. Reflex, one of, if not the greatest moto games of all time, finally has a remake in the most modern version of MX vs. ATV Legends. And this, of course, is Fort Dodge Round 2 that we're going to show off first. Fort Dodge Round 1 is not included in this pack, and I'll explain why in a second. But Fort Dodge Round 2 as a remake is, and this is maybe the most classic track of the MX vs. ATV Reflex game in history. So much was talked about when this game came, or when that game came out with this track, and so many people interested in playing this track. It's crazy to me that it's been 15 years since that game came out, and I first got my hands on playing this track, and I still remember the feelings I had the first time playing it. So excited with what Reflex brought to the table, and then the custom tracks that were the Supercross tracks they had in the game were amazing, and this is maybe the S tier one of it. But yes, this remake that they have in MX vs. ATV Legends is now available as downloadable content. It is for a price. I don't remember exactly how much, but obviously most DLC in the game has been for a price, as this one will be as well. So yeah, I think they did a great job remaking it. Overall, I feel like with the physical updates to the game of late, it actually feels fairly close to what you can do in Reflex in this game in terms of like big lines and such. I'll show a first-person lap here as well for you first-person fans, but I'm terrible in first person, so take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, I feel like everything that I remember about doing lines on the track in 2009 for Reflex, I can carry over to doing those same lines in this game now. I think that there's going to be some bigger lines that you can do just because the nature of the physics engine in this game allows you to carry a little bit more momentum than Reflex. Obviously, Reflex, you could do some unrealistic things with the whip glitch, but this game, very much you could do with just carrying a lot of speed and probably going 5 over this entire section, coming out of this corner, tripling out of here, maybe jumping all the way to the downside of this thing, but certainly going over and tripling out into the face of this next big uphill will be something that should be pretty doable. But yeah, I love the aesthetics of seeing this track again. Like, it totally, for me, brought back all the memories of playing MX vs. ATV Reflex, being excited about what that game brought to the table, and then now being excited that we can play it again in 2024 because this game continues to develop, make updates, and I like the changes that they've made. So while this remake doesn't necessarily jump off the table as something like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, finally we have Reflex stuff in Legends, it is kind of a cool homage to basically one of the best games they've ever had in their series, being able to play it across 2 different platforms now, which I don't think they've ever done before. Not Legends, but like in past games. I don't think that this was a track that existed in past games, but obviously Legends has gone back and added tracks from Alive and so on and so forth. So there's the Fort Dodge Round 2 remake, but they've also added a Fort Dodge Round 3, and this is a new custom Fort Dodge track that they themselves went in and added. And this is probably the coolest part of it, which is why I started on this part of the lap right away. Jumping up into the top here, you go up the escalators, double over the backside of this, double back down into the escalators again. Very unique concept, something that I definitely didn't expect to see out of a moto game. I don't necessarily know that I love it in terms of a real racetrack, but at the end of the day, it is a video game, so I'm okay with having some weird aspects like that added into the game. It makes it a little bit more fun, but I can tell you those escalators will chew you up. If you're a little bit offline and land in the face of one of those like escalator handrail things, I guess is what you'd call them, you will die. You will go down very hard. I've done it a couple times just trying to record this video. But this Fort Dodge Round 3 track is awesome. You come up and down through the top section of the stadium, and the finish line jump is actually a couple corners from here. So I didn't start at the finish, but I wanted to show off that unique section at first. Some of the lines are very similar to what we saw. Like, they almost kind of use the same layout of the floor space, but just change up a couple things from up top. So you go over the finish line jump, and now you're going basically backwards through some of these rhythm sections that were in Reflex on Fort Dodge 2, going the other way. You come out of this corner. This, of course, was a quad and a Supercross triple that we would do backwards, but instead it's a triple double. And you can, I think, even go triple quad, jump around the corner, and then go double over both these tables and then triple out into the sand right here. You obviously have kind of a nice little sand corner where the start straight used to be right there, and then a little smallish rhythm section through here just to add a little bit more flavor. But that is one lap kind of a look at the Fort Dodge round 3 custom track. I'll do a little bit of first person cam from the finish line jump here. But again, a lot of kind of the same concepts that we saw from the Fort Dodge 2 track integrated over to this Fort Dodge 3 track. It's basically just reversed. The main thing is that whole new section at the top of the stadium being completely different. Also kind of cool that the track jumps over itself, which is something that you don't see in many custom Supercross tracks ever. It's a concept, I guess, that they just wanted to invite into this, and honestly they made it so that it's almost impossible for you to actually hit a rider going the other way when we get to the top here, because if you even triple up the top of the hill, there's a barricade that you'd have to like downside to keep your momentum up. So they almost kind of force you to come up this hill, roll, and then double out over the stadium, because you can see that little barrier that you got to jump over right here. So that makes it a little bit more simple. And you can go up any line of the escalator. I just choose to do this one because it seems to be the smoothest, but then you see I land in a different one right here down through the middle. So there's a lot of different ways that you can hit it. And then obviously the classic jump back down in from out of the stadium. But this way you're hitting the uphill triple backwards. You turn around right here instead of go backwards down that rhythm section. And then you hit this, what was the downhill double, backwards going up a triple, and then a little roller section through here. Again, just a unique concept that even when it was introduced in 2009, we were all like, damn, this is awesome. Love to see more of this. And we never really got much more of it with any of the mxvsatv games after that. So kind of inviting it back into the series by using the same stadium and same assets from before. And obviously with the V3.12 updates, we have some of the same assets in terms of sound and stuff like that have been reintegrated to the game as well. So we're kind of going backwards, but again, making some forward steps with the game. Very interesting. And the last part of this DLC is they turn the entire stadium into an FMX map as well. So they have a huge freestyle course that goes in and out of the stadium all the way around. A lot of different cool things you can do. A massive quarter pipe right here, which will be a lot of fun to hit and obviously get froggy on, get upside down. I think people will certainly enjoy being able to do some of that. Come up with some cool trick concepts, because that one's even bigger than the one that's on Slayground, I think. So nice to have a big, massive jump to do whatever you may want to do off of. But yeah, the freestyle map, we're going to hit just about every jump, kind of showing off the different areas of it. Really, there's just a lot of huge hits, so you can do some really big tricks, trick combos, different things like that, pretty much all the way throughout the map, that allows you to do some really awesome jumps. And I think the FMX thing is a little bit of the undervalued part of this game, because so many people have focused on like the physics and the racing and all that stuff like that, that not many people play the FMX side of it. But if you are into freestyle and you still like doing tricks, there's obviously a lot of fun ways to do that with this game, and this DLC map adds a lot to it. So we're in the lower part of the section right here. We're going to turn and jump out into the top section right here and show a little bit of the top stuff. First of all, you have this massive uphill quad. I was just trying to clear it right here, which is why I straight aired it. But yeah, you have this massive top section up here that you're able to go up and down the escalator. You're able to jump into the rafters kind of right here. Accidentally did that, so I decided to leave it in the video. But then we backflip down the escalators right here. There's also a sneaky little fun gem up here that I'll show you guys in just a minute, but we're going to jump back down from the top right here, hit this ramp because we hit the right side ramp the first time. A lot of really fun ramp jumps to hit, and like I said, you can obviously have a lot of really big tricks that you do off of them. This is probably the biggest ramp, I think, in the middle of the course. There's actually one going the other way that's maybe a little bit bigger, but the air time and hang time that you have on that one is huge. And then obviously the standard uphill triple that you can still hit going out of the stadium right there. And then as I come through here, I actually crashed, so I kind of just checked in the video right there. You have a little ramp that you can hit going up the staircase right here, do a little backflip, and then there's a cheeky little secret. If you go to the left right here, or if you turn around and go behind me, you can go up another escalator, you turn to the top of this thing, and then you're able to jump out of the top of the stadium pretty much all the way back down to this lower ramp right here. Huge jump. Barely get down it, and then not able to actually clear this one, so come up a little bit short. But that's also kind of cool, just another added element that's sneaky. If you weren't really looking too hard on this map, you definitely wouldn't find it, but very cool that it's up there and something that you can add into your freestyle runs if you want. But overall, this DLC, honestly, the nostalgia trip is amazing for me. I love going back and exploring old maps like REFLEX had, and I'm glad that they brought it to Legends. I'm hoping that this adds a little bit more to it. I hope we get to see some more maps like this come about as well, some more REFLEX maps come up. There's also a little section right here that has a couple wheelie pads. And again, I guess it would be called like a secret jump because you don't really know that it's there until you turn here and you go, oh, there's a huge ramp that jumps back down. But anyway, this is the Fort Dodge DLC update for mxvsatv Legends. Be sure to check it out, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. So long for now.